Well, good afternoon, Arizona. Where are we here? We'll get us together sooner or later. Good afternoon, Arizona. Welcome to Lions of the Desert podcast here, coming live from the Detroit Coney Grill, 6953 North Hayden Road, right south of Indian Bend in the Gateway Shopping Center. We are going to be live every Thursday from 3 to 5. We're going to go through all the sports. We have a lot to talk about with the Tigers. The Tigers won again today. The Lions coming up. You can't beat it. You can't beat it at all. Now let's talk about let him get his notes. Here we're here at the Detroit Coney Grill, and David Nager, who's been a good friend of mine, has been here for a while. And we do live play-by-play of all the Lions games. I get to be on every Thursday now. I was doing it from home for my regular listeners, my regular people, and it just didn't feel like being here. I look at it. You've seen that little present I got from one of my listeners, Sonic and Knuckles sweatshirt with Dave Montgomery and Jamar Gibbs. So it's actually been very good lately. We're getting a lot of new subscribers. I'm very happy for that. And I want to give the shout out to Detroit Coney Grill because it was a couple of years ago. I went to David. I said, "Can I do a podcast?" And he said, "Absolutely." And regular listener of my show, known each other forever. So I mean, it's just turned out to be really, really wonderful. So we have the Detroit Lions coming up here. Now, I talk about the Detroit Coney Grill. There's also one in Gilbert has just opened, and that's at pardon me, I've been in a hurry. That's at 1422 West Warner Road, right there in Gilbert. Beautiful restaurant. It's right near the lakes that they have there, right near the water. They have a number there. If you want to call ahead of time at either place, Coney Grill at 6953 North Hayden Road, or in Gilbert at 1422 West Warner Road, I'm going to give you the phone numbers, and you can call ahead of time, have your food made, and pick it up. Or you can call to see what this, if they have any specials. Usually it's during the games that we have specials, but they do just the most wonderful food. I have the Cowboy Burger, and today I'm changing my habits. For 2 years, I always had the Cowboy Burger, which is four meat patties, bacon, cheese, and onion rings. Good, normal American eating, and chili cheese fries. Today I'm going for the onion rings because they're all battered beautifully and deep fried, just gorgeous. They're wonderful, and all the French fries are made from scratch here. Real potatoes. It's everything Detroit. You got the Detroit Coney dog. You got better made potato chips. You got Fago Rock and Rye and Verner's Ginger Ale. It's home. It really feels like home. If you come in, there's a big map on the window, and you just take a pen and you plug it in wherever you're from in Michigan. There's a heck of a lot of them around. There's a few from my hometown of Hamtramck, Michigan, and quite a few in there, and a couple from the Upper Peninsula. And I love the UP. I have a sister who lives right at the foot of the Mackinac Bridge. We've had a rough winter, and I know you're watching, Ellie. Good luck to you. So let's do this. We call it the Lions game. Now we got one coming up, and we will do this play by play. Sunday night football, July 31st, the Hall of Fame game. Coming to you from Canton, Ohio. It's the Detroit Lions and the San Diego Chargers. And that should be really a lot of fun. You got Jim Harbaugh, Bobby Herbert, and the quarterback. You got a lot of good players there. We got the Lions coming back. And one thing I do want to go through, we're going to go through. Um, if I can find it, we'll go through it. Da-da-da-da. Well, I'm going to give you the Hall of Fame entries, the candidates for the Hall of Fame. Now, there it is. But I want to go over the draft, too. And we're going to talk about some of the games, the games coming up, our schedule with the games. Um, it was a great draft as far as I'm concerned. We got an F from somebody at the Atlantic. I don't remember his name right off the bat, but I cannot believe the Lions got an F. I cannot believe we got. First and foremost, I believe in Brad Holmes. If Brad Holmes, they scout their people strongly. They really do. They even tried to have a talk with Shadir Sanders, and he was just putting them off. Right? He was treating it as being recruited instead of interviewing for a job, and that's his dad's fault. That's the fault of his agent and his dad. You can't go to you're approached by Campbell and Brad Holmes, and you're sitting going, "No, if you had me, you'd have won that Super Bowl." And he started going off on an edge, and he just turned around and walked away. He said, "We're not even going to talk to you. We can see the attitude right now. We got the players they want. There's a couple that really do stand out. Detroit's great at the beginning, say from the Atlantic and ESPN, what have you, they were all like B's, B's pluses. They've gone up to A quite a bit because people started to look at what the Lions got, the positions they got. They filled the needs that they needed to have. Number one, Tyleek Williams, defensive tackle from Ohio State. Well, we give him a blessing. He's from that state down south, but he led the league in stopping the run his last 2 years at college. Nobody, and I remember watching the Ohio State game. I rewatched it just to watch him in action. And yes, he stopped 6 runs, 6 good runs from the Michigan Wolverines during that game. And in the championship game against Texas, it was like 8 or 9. So he just goes right through the line. Not the complete pass rusher, but he stops the run. People can't run against that side, of the defense. And a solid nose tackle kind of guy. I can't wait till he plays with Lee McNeil. They're both so much alike. But the difference is Aleem McNeil gets through the line and gets his amount of sacks as a defensive tackle. He's going to have that new kid, Hassan, I'm just going to call him Hassan, that we got in the draft in the 7th round, who's going to be a star. I promise you right now, he's going to be a star. I'm going to give you 3 names that were picked out of this. They'll end up being stars. People drafted in the late rounds, and I kind of agree with other people that Brad Holmes, okay, kind of skips the 3rd round. Kind of does something about the 3rd round. He uses that as his trading bait. Okay, so he used that, and they got Tesla, the wide, they got Tesla, the wide receiver. We got, I can't believe this. So let's go play by play. You heard about Howard Williams, defensive tackle from Ohio State. He's a run stuffer. He is big. He lost a few pounds because he knew he was too big to play that line the way the Lions wanted him. So he started doing the workouts. And he went from 242 to 217 in beautiful, good shape. Right now, he'll have to be with DJ Reader, and probably Brock Martin will come out, and we'll have a couple of people on there. He'll be next to Edge Marcus Davenport. You'll have those two, and of course, you got Hutchinson. And I pray he's okay. If he's not ready by the first game of the season, which I think he will be, he certainly won't be playing in preseason. I'm really sure of that. But you'll have him with Davenport on the edge. Okay, and I think that with these preseasons coming up, we're going to take a really good look at our defensive guy, Hussein, who just came in from Boise State. More about him later. This is a great story. He's got the greatest attitude you've ever seen. A kid coming out of college to play football. He's a Dan Campbell guy. We've all heard that expression really a lot. Tyler Williams. Now, number 2. You got the guard from Georgia. Now, the best thing about Ratledge got the mullet. He was captain of the football team 2 years in a row, and it's usually not the guard. It's usually some other big person. No, it's the guard, and I think he's going to be the right guard. I think it's going to be him and Penei Sewell sitting together having coffee and tea, and then of course you got Ragnow. Whew, this is going to be cool this year. I can't wait to see the line. Brad Holmes needed that line up there. He's a tough, dirty player. His self-proclaimed nickname is Dirtbag. It just gets in, and you love that kind of talk. He's going to get along with the rest of them beautifully because that's how they talk. They're dirtbags. They get in the dirt. They do the job needs to be done. He is great at blocking for the run. And if you're next to Penei Sewell, and you got those two blocking on the right side for the run, Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery are going to have a ball. Montgomery will come up through the middle like he likes to do, in between Ragnow and Ratliff. And I could just see it right now, the Clarence that's going to come out of that. Penei will go out in front of him, block the 2 up front. And as usual, no one will touch our running backs unless it's either a late linebacker or a safety grabbing them. I think it's a wonderful pick. I love all the picks. Number 3, the big trade-up. 3 draft picks were traded up to get Isaac Tesla, a wide receiver from Arkansas. This was really the big knock on Brad Holmes in the draft. They said he didn't have that much going on there as far as his college production. If I'm Brad Holmes, and I know just loving the draft that he's been doing the last few years, and we all remember Jameer Gibbs, and then Jack Campbell, and then Laporta, and then Brian Branch. All and then Hendon Hooker was after that. But those four at the beginning of that draft, and they got a D for that draft. And they said it was the worst they ever saw. There's no value there. There's no way that they could have done better. However, all four were up for Rookie of the Year. All four of them had an outstanding rookie season, and all four of them went to the Pro Bowl. Thank you. The one that did go to Pro Bowl this year and was left out, and I think it was a shame, is Kirby Joseph. The most interceptions in the league, and they left him out of the Pro Bowl. Not very cool at all. Back to work. Back to work. So Tate Ratledge, guard from Georgia, 6'6", 308 pounds. Dirtbag is the nickname. You can't do better than that. I really believe that. And then, like I said, Isaac Tesla, wide receiver from Arkansas. Now, he's a big receiver. He's 6'4", 215. And he dropped a few pounds to get in there. And a slot receiver. And I could see him in the slot breaking Amon St. Brown, who'll go down to the other side of the line. So this is going to be, the offense is going to be a nightmare for any defensive coordinator. And I can't wait to see these guys playing Ben Johnson and the Bears. I can't. But you got Isaac doing that. Then you get another big guard. You get him from LSU. You get Miles Frazier, another big man who just loves. He just blocks. He had no sacks in his last 2 years at LSU. None. No blocks. And he did over 600 and some snaps. How can you not? How can you? Come on. It's not even close on that. This is a pickup. This is a great pickup, Miles Frazier. Then comes number 5. Then comes Ahmad Hussein, edge rusher, Boise State. He's originally from Egypt, and they say that he's the first Egyptian ever drafted in the NFL. He's big. I didn't think he was that big. I thought he was smaller until I saw him next to Dan Campbell, until I saw him next to other players. This kid's got a good size on him. He's strong. And when they showed him at Boise State, and you saw him last year, 15 sacks, 49 hurries, and 35 tackles for loss. It's in that neighborhood, and it's just that good. Just that good, you know. And they say it's the Big West or something. But the attitude of this kid is just, he's talking on the phone to Campbell. I'll die in the field for you, coach. You know, he was interviewed by a lot of teams. He chose, and the Lions got him. And they traded up once again. But I like the kid. I really do. A big part of it. Edge rusher for Boise State. And then you get Dan Jackson, a safety from Georgia. Now, they got him, and a very good player. I mean, just an awesome player. But they got him. We need depth back there, right? Depth at safety. You've got Melifontu. You've got, of course, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, the best pair in the entire league. But you're looking also at the cornerbacks we'll have this year. DJ Reed from the Jets comes down and takes over for Carlton Davis. Number 23 is gone, went to Pittsburgh for a big contract. They just got rid of George Pickens, so we're going to have a hard time to keep going on that one. Then you got, of course, Terrion Arnold. Now, Arnold is going to be so much better this year. Watch him have a breakout year. You know, he'll have a good breakout year. Played hard last year, had a lot of penalties because he does it a different way it's different than college. I'm sure that will work out. Kevin Shepard's going to make sure that he just handles the situation. Our new defensive coach and John Morton, our new offensive coordinator. Now, take a quick break here. We lost Ben Johnson, okay, and Aaron Glenn. One went to Bears, of course, and Aaron Glenn went to the Jets. I do not see that affecting our team very much. I don't. I mean, if Dan Campbell was in there, yeah, it would affect things. But the changes Dan Campbell's put that team through in the last 4 years, and it turned out to be spectacular. You can't beat that. But they're going for safety and that defense to have somebody up behind. The cornerbacks. I want a safety. I want more people in the back. That back defense is really going to allow the front lines and the linebackers, Jack Campbell, come on, Alex Anzalone, and Derek Barnes. I'm sure he'll be the starting linebackers. But we'll pick up more. There's more back there. Rodrigo should be better, I think, when the season starts. So, the more and more You look at both sides, offense and defense. Offense, leave it alone. You got Tesla in there. That's the only person I can really see fitting in outside of the line, but for the outside. So if you got Tesla, you got Tim Patrick, Amon St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and then the running backs, right? Sonic and Nichols, um, David Montgomery, and Jameer Gibbs. And Jared Goff is now ready for the real professionalism that's going to come. I sincerely think the Lions will make not only the NFC playoffs, I think they'll win the NFC playoffs this year. That's just me talking early. Next week, David will be here, and like the last 2 years, the schedule release will be next week, the 14th. So David and I will really share about that and pick. I won last year. I said 15-2, and it was 15-2. So I felt pretty proud about that. I thought we were going to lose to Houston. That was one of the best games we had here last year. There was a handful of people left. They thought that the Lions were going to lose with 5 interceptions from Goff, 2 real interceptions. The other 3 were volleyball games. People got lucky. So we'll look at that in the last year. But this offense is just outstanding. Just outstanding. I can see the trick plays still coming, but maybe not as much. Morton is a more I'm coming in your face kind of guy. He's more of a let's just go. We got what we want. Let's go get what we want. And I think that's exactly what will happen. All right, so that took care of that. Dan Jackson, safety from Georgia, and signed $400,000 contract, so he'll be right in there. Then Dominic Levick, wide receiver from Georgia. Now there's another good receiver, and give us deep on the receiver. So when training camp starts, you'll see him. You'll see Kennedy in there. You'll see Tesla. You'll see everybody vying to get on the 53-man roster. And it's not going to be that different than last year. There'll be a couple of spots that'll be different, but nowhere near what other teams do and how they change the roster. I heard that George Pickens left Pittsburgh and went to Dallas. That was a big trade. CeeDee Lamb, has got a roommate now, just like Hazoon came with us. And, so this is going to be interesting to watch this year with the Lions. Dominic has a wide receiver, and just we'll do everything that we really want to do. So we'll do that with the draft. I'm going to come back in a moment with the picks for the Hall of Fame, who I think is going to be nominated for the Hall of Fame. But right now I'm going to give a shout out and give a space to a wonderful friend of mine, Barney Quarters, his partner Brad, and QB Development. It's right behind Albertsons over here, so it's good that our friends close. At 8165 East Indian Bend, Suite 103. The phone number is 602-830-9755, QB Development. This is like a wonderful faith-based company, all right? It's a development. We developed the house, interiors, whatever you need fixed, we developed and had to be planned for, all right? 6 little steps along the way. The why. Start it right off, Take your dream and bring it to us. I love that. And ours is to make it a reality. Your dreams bring it to us. Our dream is to make it a reality. You can't be more straightforward and trusted in that. They are that good. I've seen their work. They're very strong and very, very good with customers. All the reviews are 5-star. They take their time. They do a good job. They have it done on time. All right? And that's 2. What do you expect from your pre-design? Everybody gets together on this. The pre-design is figured out. How much space do you have? What are the measurements? Where's going to go what? Are you going to have a chimney over here? Going to the fireplace over here, right? So whatever, fireplace, chimney, the kitchen setup, all those things have to be planned out very, very well, right? You got Brad and Barty there. Barty's just a one-man wrecking storm with working hard, and I've known him for quite a while. He is that good. Your pre-designed is a sit down. It's everybody makes their decisions on how they want it. At 3, you have the design phase, okay? And you have the design, you have the architecture, and the engineering. You figure all that out. That's all laid down in that plan. I love that number 3 plan, the design phase. Here's what we're going to do because you asked us to do this. Here's your design. And it's usually, yes, that's exactly what we want for, because that's what they do. They give you exactly what you asked for. This is I think this should be better, or this should be, shut up. This is Bart and Barney. They'll sit there and say, this is what my customer wants. That's what they get. And I know this from facts. So you've got to design the architectural setup and the engineering setup, which is big for our next little phase, which is the permitting pause. So everything you've done are subject to laws, housing codes, so on and so forth. What do we got here? Yeah. Oh, yeah. State, city permits, the street access, all that has to be taken in. They will take, they will take all these to the boards or the people who they have to give them to for the approval that they need. They always get it because they design it right. There's never a hassle there, and usually the customer is right there in on it with them, and wants to let them know that, this is what I wanted. Here's the legal way to do it, and it's done. Our fifth phase, right? Construction. This is when all the work is done. The customer can be right there. They're doing all the work, getting it done in the phases, and they just do. I've seen some of the work. It's beautiful. Everything is done the way it's supposed to be. And then completion from start to finish. Your faith in us is complete, you know, and your faith is us is complete, and the happy in your heart belongs to you. You'll have a happy in your heart. That's such a good feeling. You see something you've wanted, you've dreamed about, and there it is. It's built, it's right there, and it's ready for you. QB Development, Quality Builders, and they're there. 8165 East Indian Bend Road, Suite 103 at 602-830-9755. I love these guys. Like I said, faith-based organization. 6 steps. 6 steps. I will go right there. Now, what I'm going to do is hit the little boys' room for just a moment, okay? And I'll be right back, and we'll continue this fun phase. Well, so far, so good. You're awesome. So far, so good. All right. Okay, thanks for waiting. Here we are back. Um, Lands of the Desert podcast, part 2. We're going to get into the Hall of Fame game, and I have my list of people, candidates for the Hall of Fame. Um, and it makes it a really good time when you have all that lined up like that. So let's get into that a little bit here. A couple of people that I know are going to be nominated pretty strongly. Um, I didn't have it here. I'm getting old. But you got to have your notes. You got to be prepared. All right, so let's take a look at some of them. I've got Eric Allen. Great cornerback for Philadelphia, very strong. Uh, and I'm looking at all the ballots. They have to be voted in. We'll have the final candidates, of course, in the Hall of Fame game, right before the Hall of Fame game. They'll announce all the candidates. Eric Allen, cornerback for Philadelphia, very, very strong. Jared Allen, defensive end for Kansas City and Minnesota. Jared Allen was a pain in the Lions' side. Matthew Stafford was hit by him, I don't know how many times. Um, and he just couldn't be defended. He was just a really awesome defensive end. Plenty of sacks. Jaheir Evans, an offensive guard, okay, for the Saints. Now, usually you don't see a lot of guards. I know Penei Sewell will be there. Penei Sewell will be in the Hall of Fame. But this guy was just a monster as the guard. Just a monster as the right guard for the Saints. Very, very good. And of course, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates, a tight end for the Chargers, one of the best we've ever seen in our lives. Every record for a tight end, he's holding it. He's just one of those guys. He's holding that record. The only person that came close to beat him was Samuel Porter in his rookie year. He beat Antonio Gates. He had the best. He's number one in his rookie year of any tight end yet. And that dates back to Mike Ditka. Whoa. Okay. Again, Antonio Gates. Now, one I really like, Torrey Holt, the wide receiver for the St. Louis Rams. And this is one my buddy Robbie Lemon will look at. Torrey Holt, wide receiver, the best catcher. I think one of the best games, Super Bowls I saw was when the Rams beat the Patriots. And I remember watching that game from the get-go. And all the Saints came out at one time, and the Patriots were coming out, and it was just a great game. It really was an awesome game, and geez, you couldn't beat it. But Terry Holt was a big part of that with Kurt Warner and company, folks. Then he had Luke Kuechly. Now, he's only played 8 years. He's a linebacker for the Panthers, but he was always the defensive player of the year. He was a nasty, awesome linebacker. All right, I put him up there with Mike Singletary and Wayne Walker and Joe Schmidt. I put him up there with those great Mike Lucci, Chris Spielman, the really good linebackers of our age. And I put him right up there with him. He was that good. Eli Manning. Now, I don't know why everybody feels really uncomfortable with him. He's won a Super Bowl. He brought the Giants from nothing to winning. He had plenty of people around him, but you'll never forget that throw to win the Super Bowl, the helmet catch, and that was good, and it was awesome. It was awesome. Eli Manning of the Steve Smith Sr., wide receiver, Carolina Panthers. Really, I swear to God, he was a Dan Campbell guy. He would have been great with the Lions because the way he would fight to get the ball and the way he would just run and hit people. He didn't juke or anything. Just hit him head on and kept going. Steve Smith. I'm serious. Talking about hitting somebody. How about this defensive end from the Ravens, an offensive line, outside linebacker, defensive end, Terrell Suggs. Everybody's measured to him, and a really solid, good player. You can't help but love that. Terrell Suggs, I can see him doing that. Then you got Fred Taylor, running back, and he played for both Jacksonville and the Patriots. He got traded, and really really made everything good. Fred Taylor was like the best thing in Jacksonville when it all started. And the kicker from hell, as far as I'm concerned, Adam Vinatieri. This is one kicker that should go on the first vote. Vinatieri, he was with the Colts for, pardon me, he was with the New England and the Patriots. It caused almost a war in New England. I remember when he was traded and sent up there to the Patriots, and they were just really, really bad because he was that good of a kicker. And with the Patriots, he did very, very well too. I just couldn't believe that. And Jacksonville, man, World War III was going to break out there. Vinatieri, New England was going to break out Pats there. And I say the Colts because I looked down there, Reggie Wayne, right receiver from the Colts, right? And there's another one. There's another one that you just said was a great wide receiver. Now, when you look at all the offensive guards and stuff, and all these offenses getting in there, wide receivers, running backs, okay, that's fine, tight ends. And like I said, the guards and offensive tackles aren't really there. But Marshall Tanda, the offensive tackle for the Ravens for a long time, and nothing but solid at his position, all-star. Then you got Darren Woodson, safety out of Dallas. So you have a really complete list there of those folks, and I'll repeat them once again. Eric Allen, Jared Allen, J- Jahir Evans, Antonio Gates, Torrey Holt, Luke Kuechly, Eli Manning, Steve Smith, Terrell Suggs, Fred Taylor, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Wayne, Darren Woodson, and Marsha Yanda. That is a really good group when you look at that. An extremely good group of people. And you can't help but love that. Okay, we have been doing a lot of things here. So let's do this. Let's do a quick little spot for my friends. And let's go to Arrowhead BMW. And these are subscribers, and I always shout them out because they're also friends. And these guys all work at Arrowhead BMW. Cole Otterman, Russ Smith, Eric Bergera, and Paul Kettner. And they all subscribe. They're wonderful people. Cole is the um, internet manager, right? So if you go on the internet, arrowheadbmw.com, get a hold of Cole Otterman. Now, Cole knows his cars. He can put up and set you up for whatever car you want, right? Buy it right over the internet. Just do the things right. And you can give Cole a call at 309 339 1844. 309 339 1824. And easygoing guy. He and I talk sports a whole bunch and have a great time with that. And you'll see his desk. It's very settled down. He's got the screen on. He's got ESPN. He watches his sports, keeps an eye on it, and does a lot of good work. And very easy to get along with. All these people I talk about are customer-oriented service advisors. They're all very good with people and do their job. Russ Smith is one of those. Good New Jersey boy, that's lived out here for a long time. Russ can get a holler. Call him at 623 386 9200. 623 386 9200. Like I said, like the rest of them, easygoing, customer friendly. You'll see all this as we go along here. When I talk about my people, they're my friends. Eric Berard, he's so cool he give you change for an ice cube. Eric's is the net car. And if you go on Facebook, he consistently posts beautiful photographs of the cars at Arrowhead BMW. That he goes out and lets people know we got this. And they're gorgeous cars, of course. The Beamer, the X35, everything's there. Eric Ferrera, 480 486 4270. 480 486 4270. And then we go to Paul Kettner. We go to PK. PK has probably the best collection of shoes I've ever seen in my life. I do a lot of work on his shoes. And nice, easygoing kid. He's young. He's young, but he's very. He's going for it. He's not overly aggressive. He's pretty laid back, but he knows his stuff. He will work that computer. He will find the car that you want and take a walk around that beautiful lot and take a look at the cars they have at Arrowhead BMW. You're with the right guy. I also want to mention Arrowhead BMW sponsors my regular radio show, the Shoe Shine Mike Radio Hour, every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on 1100 KFNX, the pulse of Arizona, as we say. And it's a good show and everything. They sponsor it. But something I talk about on my other radio show, I'm going to talk about it here. Arrowhead BMW, they have what they call their certified pre-owned cars. These are all BMWs, and they come with the warranty that they have, plus it's an added warranty with a 172-point inspection. I've ridden in them. I took a ride once with Mobile, who's also a member of my radio show. And we went around the lot and just had a good time. And it felt like a new car. It felt so brand new. It was just slightly got that new car smell, but it was just awesome. It really was cool. So certified pre-owned, see Paul Kettner, and you can talk to him right now if you like. He's at 480-334-8878. 480-334-8878. And we'll talk about them. Now, I want to talk a little bit about today's action. The Detroit Tigers won another game. They're now 24 wins, and in a minute I'll look up their record and all the stuff that goes with it. We lead the American League, period. And you gotta love the way that they're playing. And they say they patched a team together. It doesn't look like a patched together team to me. You see the improvement. Gary Carpenter is hitting lights out. Spencer Torkelson is a guy that you had the two guys that we drafted, and they weren't doing all that good. Well, today they both played. Casey Mize was the pitcher. He won. His ER earned run average is once again was 0 in another game and another win. Spencer Torkelson slapped in the double that brought in the last two runs of the game. So you got to enjoy it. I'm pretty sure it was 10-1 was the final. The Tigers are just on a streak. Last night they won an extra innings, and how can you beat that? They're playing really well. We got some winners in Detroit. The Pistons were just in the playoffs. All right, the Red Wings, okay, they'll need another year to make the playoffs, but they played good this year. Played pretty with what they had. A lot of injuries there. We're from Detroit. We know about the injuries that have been happening. It's kind of just been a pain. It just has been a pain. So the injuries are there, and we do the best we can with them. So they try to do their best too. But the Tigers, man, Cole America is packed. Same with Ford Field. When the Lions play now, that field is packed. You might get standing room if you're lucky, or win a lottery for Christ's sake. The way that's going down there, you couldn't get into Little Caesars for the Pistons games, not just the playoffs. People were showing up to watch the Pistons play. It was awesome as heck. I check something here. It was awesome as hell. So, you go to the city of Detroit, they're winning. And downtown is still being refurbished. New restaurants, new everything. The city is going up. They're raising taxes, property taxes. They're doing that good. They're raising property taxes now. And there's a development going on in my old neighborhood, and I can't believe it. It's gorgeous. And I grew up in a really dumpy old part of town, right down the street from the old Packard plant, in Parkside Projects in Chandler Park. It's totally being redeveloped and made brand new, and it's gorgeous. You know, um, so give the city of Detroit some spots there now because the city is winning, and the Tigers doing good. The Red Wings will be there next year. The Pistons are in the playoffs. Of course, the Lions. Our big pickup has to be depth. You can't win. It didn't matter if it was the Redskins or who it was we had to play. We just did not have any healthy people when Terry and Arnold went out in that game. You could see it. People were just trying to figure out what are we going to do now. Aaron Glenn, God bless his heart, was using Scotch tape and super glue to keep that team together, and it really was a tough time doing that. They couldn't do it as well as they wanted to, and I understand that. So what we'll do then, we're going to take another break here. I'll be back with some Michigan State news. We'll wrap it up. I know it's not very much during the summer because there's not that whole lot going on, and I'll be having guests starting next week because I'm now coming back to Detroit County Grill on a live basis. So those are the things we got to do. We got a little bit more to talk about. We're not just going to let go there. They're all excited here because the new pope was just picked. So we're watching reruns of St. Peter's Square at the Basilica, and it is. I've never seen a crowd of people like that. It is huge, and I'm glad. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see Christians and Catholics all getting along, and they have a new person who's going to be very good from Chicago, I might add. So he'll end up being Bears fan. We'll see if we can help him on that. We'll see if there's Bears fans in here, one Bears fan in here, just talk about it. So it's been pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is take a quick break. We'll be back with some more talk about Michigan, and Sharon Moore being suspended. We're going to have to go through that. And Michigan State and Michigan both had their spring games. They both look good. Michigan State is no slouch. Um, People have been trying to write them off. You can't do that. You just can't do that. So Michigan's going to be good this year. Bruce Underwood. We'll get to that. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Oh, and Fago Rock and Rye, which is the best in the world, is sitting right here. Fago Rock and Rye. Ah. Well, the final today. Hi, here we are back. Lions of the Desert podcast coming to you live from beautiful Detroit Coney Grill. Um, I just feel so right to be here. It's just such a cool place to hang out and to eat. The food is awesome. The people are great. Happy hour starts at 3 o'clock. So if you're in the neighborhood, come on down. And let's see. I'm trying to get the Lions game or Tigers game target hooked up. Sad news in the Tigers world. Chet Lemon, World Series champion with the Tigers, has died at the age of 70. We all remember Chet Lemon in center field could catch anything. He didn't miss anything covered from center field. It was just so cool. And just a heck of a player. All those players were great. They were just so fun, you know. So let's do this first. The standings. We're now 2 games ahead of Cleveland. We're 24-13. And it's a doubleheader, so I'm pretty sure the game is going on right now, too. Another one starts in a few minutes. Today's a doubleheader for the Lions. And we'll see what happens on that. So we're 24. I hope we get 25. And the top of the third in the second game is 5-1 Detroit Tigers. That is so, oh gosh, that's too much to do. It's too much. This is just amazing. We are, let's see, where are we? Top of the third inning, okay? Top of the third inning, and let's see. Scoring summary. Doesn't matter. They're winning. So I just want to see if anybody for Detroit hit a home run. Singles deep left. Da, 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 da. Okay. They're getting the hits today. Kerry Carpenter scores. Torres hits a double. I love that. Cole Keith. They just keep going here. That's insane. Spencer Torkel said it was another double. Oh, they just shoot. We Deputy Dog. At the top of the third, there's 2 out and a man on first. And Gordon's pitching. Sue. Jeez. Dingler's at bat. This is too good. Fielder's choice. 3 outs. Okay, so we're done with the top of the third. And we'll now go to the bottom of the third inning. 6-1 Detroit Tigers. So, wow. This is too cool. 6-1 Tigers, top of the third inning. That's 16 runs already in 2 games, you know. And so if we win number 25, and I think we'll be the first. I do. I think we'll be the first in the leagues to hit 25 at the American League. I'm going to double check that now. Come on, babies. Let's check the standings at this moment in space and time. All right, in the league, we are number one at 24-13. Everybody else is 22 and 21 and 20, which is very, very cool. All right, and then I think in the National League, the Dodgers have 25 wins. So we win today. We tied the Dodgers at 25 wins. So we're once the lead, both leagues. The Padres and the Mets are right there. They're all playing really good ball. There are the ones that are surprising. Chicago, Arizona's right up there, 19-18. They got to stay above 500 and keep going. Philly's in there too. Um, the Dodgers, San Diego, the Mets, and San Francisco. I would say the top four teams in the National League, and we got the Giants coming up soon. I know that we'll play the Mets. We'll play. We took the series from the Dodgers. I mean, from the Padres. We lost the opening to the Dodgers, and that's all right. As far as the American League goes, you got Detroit at 24, Seattle and Cleveland with 22 wins, Kansas City with 23, but bigger in the loss column. And then the Yankees at 21-16, the Lions 24-13. So it's a long season. I know I'm projecting. That's okay. It's my nature, and that's what I like being a fan. Is projecting a little bit. So I'm loving it. I'll tell you that. So we'll go with that. So here we are in the middle of the third. Colorado's going to come up, and we'll see what's happening there. I want to see just because I want to see who's pitching for the Tigers right now. And they'll have that up in just a moment. So we were talking about Michigan and Sharon Moore. And you know what? Let me get a couple more of my subscribers here. I've been kind of ignoring that a little bit, not much. My two favorites, oh my God, over at Chapman VW on Pima and Indian School for 101 Pima. 101 in Indian School, just go right off the exit of Indian School, and it's right there. You'll see it on the freeway. You'll know to make a left and just pull right in there. But over at Chapman VW, I have two friends of mine, Lester Perales and Nettie Davenport. They're both partners on the team, their team there. And they work together very, very well. If you want ID4, if you're looking for the Volkswagen of your choice, the Jetta, which is a really good machine. The one thing Volkswagen does that amazes me, there is more space inside that car. And you never know where it all comes from. How do we get all this space in here? But those are my two. Lester is also Espanol, if that's your choice there. Lester's a wonderful man. Been a customer of mine for years. Just really good guy. And Nettie is right on the fire. She's always out there helping somebody. I always see her working. She's a lady I always see working. Give Lester a call at 480-424-3560 or Nettie a call at 520-213-4421. They're both really, really cool. Let's do a quick note over at Hyundai. Sean Sakari. Now, Sean is just nothing but a busy man. I've seen him run around in there, work the cars, get the keys, all that other stuff. Chase a lot of tenants down. Sean Sakari at Chapman Hyundai. Plenty of good people there, and you'll love that place. And they'll be here for the game, the Hall of Fame game. We already got that settled up. Give Sean a call for a great Hyundai at 602-358-3206. Now, we're 6-1 still. It's the bottom of the third. And Montero's pitching, okay? 2-1, one earned run, okay? No strikeouts, but batting is back. I don't know where the Rockies have gone. They're in last place. They have a terrible record. They just don't seem to be playing. They're playing as a team as best they can, but they don't have the talent that the Tigers have. The Tigers are loaded with talent. They're all right on it there. You got one out already. I like this, keeping up with the game here. And it's just right on the phone, play-by-play on the phone, So I hope we win. I really do. I was talking about Sharon Moore, and I always skip around, and that's okay. It's my nature. But Sharon Moore is going to be suspended for 2 games, the opening games. And 9 times out of 10, okay, we have to have those games. Those are what we call the cupcake games at Ann Arbor. But I'm looking at Ann Arbor this year, and we got some great games coming up. But there's one that only concerns us. There's only one game. I'm a Michigan man, and I went to school there in 73, 68, 69 to 73. I got to see the first Bo and Woody game in 69. I'd yet to meet a party that was that good again. I did not know where I was when I woke up. I was on a couch somewhere, and someone just looked at me and said, "Okay, we're all here." And there's bodies on the floor. People are crashed out everywhere. So it must have been a party because there's shit everywhere. There's like beer bottles and shot glasses and full glasses of everything, and the air the air smelled of you know what. And so we were just like getting up and getting it together. And there was this one girl, and I looked down. She's on the other side of the couch, and I didn't get to lie on the couch. I was just like sitting there, and I looked over and I said, "Should we try to get up?" She goes, "No, not yet." I said, "Okay, cool." And I guess I was talking to her the night before, and we both just passed out. Ah, to be 17 and 18 again. So that's what happened. And but it was a great game, and the punter won the game as far as we're concerned. That was good. Now this year with Ohio State, they're hurting. They don't have the quarterback that they had. They don't have the line that they had. We got one of them. Um, they try to do their best to recruit. They're in Michigan this year with Bruce Underwood, a new great quarterback. We got a solid quarterback at Underwood, a 5-star recruit. He's going to be awesome. And Sharon Moore has done a very, very, very good job. There's a lot of Jim Harbaugh influence. His best game last year was just running the ball against Penn State in the second half. Their safeties were that good. He said, "No, just keep running the ball and give it to the boys who can run it." That was wonderful. It was really a good game. Okay, so that's that. Michigan State now, I didn't get too much. I'm going to be really honest. I don't follow them as much as I should because I don't give a shit about Michigan State until we play them, and everything's that nice little public school in East Lansing. Um, I don't really care about that much. Nobody cares about that game. They're with us against Ohio State, of course, but the in-state rivalry is just as strong as it ever was, and no one will ever forget that game we lost on a punt. That was just Heartbreak Hotel right there, as far as I'm concerned. So we got that going up, and I'm going to keep an eye on the Tigers score for a few minutes here. Just kind of hang out and watch the Tigers. Um, well, it looks like they got 2 men out for Colorado. Uh. Ruling pending at bat. Okay, so it's now bases loaded. Whatever it was, they gave it to him, and now shell infield. Da, 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 da. Okay, they got bases loaded and 1 out. So Montero better throw a pitch here. He better do what he can. He just threw a ball. My golly, you would think Montero would better. Now he's with Tagala. Tagala is a really good hitter. He's like pretty much their best hitter. You know, so I would just like go with him on that one. Go with him on that one. The chat's open if anybody wants to chat in. But it's Thursday afternoon. People are busy at work and what have you. Mine's just something to have on in the afternoon to make it pass better. I know Cole Lottman's probably watching me. Hi, Cole. Um, yeah, he's your guy now. Internet manager, Arrowhead BMW. I'm sure he's not watching the ball game, but he grounds out. Oh, I love it. Yeah, double play. So that's the end of the third inning. We're going to go to the top of the fourth, 6-1. Montero pitched out of a bases loaded jam there in the bottom of the third. That's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Speaking of good stuff, let me finish up with my sponsees here. Robbie Lemon at Marquia over there once again in Indian School in Pima. Robbie is a St. Louis Rams fan. He's from St. Louis, and that's why when I mentioned Terry Holt, he's probably just kind of jumping his skin. I know he's watching right now. Hey, Robbie. And Robbie Lemon the third. Um, really easygoing guy. He'll talk football with you till your ears bleed. And those are the kind of people I love hanging out with. Give Robbie a call at 480-425-5300. 480-425-5300. Robbie Lemon will let you find that Kia Soul. Find anything you want on that dealership. Such a good guy. And then 3 more good buddies up at Wright Honda. I'm Frank Lloyd Wright. Gibby, my main guy. Gibby's just the best guy on earth. 480-778-2440. Gibby is so easygoing. It's amazing. You kind of sit there and figure this guy never sell any cars. Just so easygoing, knowledgeable. Then you always see him in a lot with people. Just walks up and talks to people. Has no fear of public speaking. Kind of like me. I'm that way. And he just walks right up. Rocky, and you got Rocky there too, and you got Hunter Bridgman. Hunter Bridgman is a young man who's just got himself together. He's one of those, right? He's solid. He knows what he wants. He's going for it. Give Hunter a call at 614-974-8770. 614-974-8770. Rocky at 778-2440. Gibby, Rocky, Hunter Bridgman, three great guys up there at Right Honda. And it's the place to be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go with this game for a little bit while longer here because it's a fun game. I mean, this is just cool as heck. Um, when I was a kid, you could never remember. All right, Sweeney is up. He's 1-1. There's no outs. We're in the top of the fourth inning, and it's just a good way to go. Okay, everything just looks like this is so fun doing this podcast. We're going to have more material. We're going to keep things going as we go. David will be with me next week. I do better when I have people to talk to. It's just the way I am. There's no one here today that wishes to talk. They're all coupled up and talking to folks and sitting around, enjoying the day. Happy employees, happy people. Everything's all good here. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it all up. You heard about the draft picks. Awesome. The people I think are getting the Football Hall of Fame. The Tigers doing well. The Pistons will be back next year. I'm still pissed off that Berkeley staff is not Coach of the Year. I cannot believe that. I cannot freaking believe that. And then, of course, with the rest calling that one game, it would have been 3-3. Things would have been different. But that's a Detroit way. The refs always find a way to fuck us. It's always been that way for years and years. There are when the NBA publicly apologizes to your team, then you know something's up. So we got that. The Red Wings will be back next year. Michigan State. Can't wait for the game. It's in Michigan. And it'll all be fun, right? So I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. It'll be a lot more material coming next week because I'll have about 6 guests next week because of the schedule release. So I know it's going to be very, very busy here. And we'll be busy here. We'll be having a lot of fun. Do me a favor. Be kind to everybody you know. Okay? Be kind to everybody you know. Come on down here to Detroit County Grill. Grab a snack. Call Barty at QB Development. Do all the things that we've talked about this afternoon. It's a fun podcast. We got quite a few listeners and watchers now. This will be posted tomorrow on YouTube for those who can't see it live today. So they know that'll be posted tomorrow on YouTube and Spotify, iHeart, and anybody else that's in there. Apple. Okay. So do me a favor. Have a great afternoon. Thank you for having me. Peace, love, and rock and roll, my Lions fans. We'll all be there. You have a good one. Bye-bye.